what's up, this Mustang Spook Guy, as well back to Forza Motorsport 6 with another showdown, and this is, I'm calling the Classic, the International Classic Cup, as I call it, because we have many different manufacturers, all from the 60s and late 50s, and I did get a new phone. I was recording this morning, and then my phone died completely. So I lost those two clips, but I have a new phone, so yay. But yeah, I already have two cars done. I have this car and the Nissan Fairlane Z. I'll get to their times at the end of the video. So, yeah. But I have the Fairlane Z as a wild card because it's from Japan. While Fiat, no, I want to find out what was the best European car officially. However, I threw in the Fairlane Z because the Z is British, the Fairlane Z, as a wild card because I wanted to see how the Japanese fared with it. And I also threw in the Dodge Daytona as a wild card because I wanted to see how the Americans could handle it. So I picked the Daytona because that's a very good vehicle. So I have a Fiat Dino, Fairlane Z, Lamborghini Miura, Ferrari 250 GT Berlin Lucio, that's a mouthful, Jaguar E-Type, Porsche 550 Spider, Mercedes 300 SL, and Dodge Daytona, both going around laps and 0 to 100 to 0. Now my first vehicle for this video, I shouldn't say next because this is the first one you see, is the Lamborghini Miura. And I was always expecting the Miura to do very good because it was a class above all the others. This was C class, albeit not pretty low C class, but still is a class above every other vehicle in this series. So, in this showdown, why not say showcase? Showdown, in a showdown, is a class above everything else. So I was expecting the Miura to do pretty good, and it did very good. It's way fast and everything, like over almost 120 down this straightaway here. Stupid fast car. It's great to the turns, pretty darn good in the braking. Acceleration's decent. It's an overall great car. Lamborghini really outdid themselves with this one. So, yeah, I do quite enjoy driving the vehicle, and I'm not going to say the times until the end because I want it to be more dramatic. But yeah, overall, a fantastic vehicle to drive, and it really deserves its spot on this table. But yeah, Lamborghini, very easy to drive, very fast, very good to the corners, brakes great, everything. So yeah. My next vehicle is the Aston Martin DB5, and keep in mind, this is like 70 points down on the Miura, and it did remarkably well on the circuit. Before this time, it was not as fast as the Miura by a long shot. The Miura was just crazy, but it held on. It's pretty darn good. It was not as good to the corners, no. But it did keep up with its speed on the straights. That's the important part. That's one of the important parts, is it kept up with its speed. Sure, it didn't have the acceleration, but it had that speed. It just kept on going. And it was quite a bit faster than the Fiat Dino and the Fairlane Z. How am I going to say it? I'm just feeling British now. With the Zs, and the garages, and the cars, and the ways. But anyway, it beats by a lot the Fairlane Z and the Fiat Dino, whatever. So yeah, mighty impressive job from the Aston Martin as it gets a big lean and it kills the camera. Yeah, sorry camera guy, you died. Yeah, James Bond's car actually did pretty good around the circuit, much better than I was expecting. With a little bit of wheel on the grass there. It did struggle with understeer. It did have a bit of understeer sometimes. So, especially on my second lap, I went way off the track on the second lap the understeer. But overall, again, a very nice car to drive, the Aston Martin DB5. Around Brands Hatch. Now, I'm starting off here with the Ferrari 250 Berlento Lucio because a little thing called corner cutting. The game got very unhappy with me when I decided to take the corner a little too soon and launched me on two wheels way into the dirt, and the camera has no clue what to do anymore. There we go. There he is. Hi. Yeah, I may have cut the corner a little too much, and the game got unhappy with me and launched me on two wheels. Not every day you see a Ferrari going on two wheels. Although, to be honest, on Horizon 2, we did have a Huracan go on two wheels, and E63 go on two wheels, and a Carrera roll, so you never know. You never know. But yeah, this car is D-Class, albeit top of D-Class, but still D-Class, and it's 18 PI points lower than the Lamborghini Miura, and it was so close to beating it. So unbelievably close. It is the fastest car down the straightaway, going 121 miles an hour down the straightaway. It's crazy fast car. Crazy fast. I love it. And it can actually turn around the corner at 121. Oh, you had to break into it, but you can do it. And it's awesome. And you're just like, wow, I was not expecting that to be able to work. But yeah, it's a crazy car. And so it's decent, good brakes, decent turning. It can be a little fiddly to get used to. Speed is fantastic. Fastest car so far around the circuit. Well, faster than the Fiat, which barely got above 100. So yeah. But I was amazed on how close this was to the car that was a class above it. But yeah, the Ferrari 250 had a very close call at the beginning, and the rest of the race was pretty much perfect. Now, my next vehicle, one of my favorites actually, the Jaguar D-Type. Now you see that bumper in the front? It's a little hard to see, but you see that like lip bumper? I don't like that. I saw one in Plymouth with a I saw it in like the park area. And I saw it, and it had those bumpers removed, and it looked amazing without the bumpers. However, I just don't like the look of those bumpers. And the car, well, I was very disappointed in it. I was sad to see it do so poorly, because it just didn't have any speed. Or, I shouldn't say speed, it was the second fastest car, third fastest car around this, on the straightaway, but it was so slow. It beat the Fiat by the grace of God. I don't know how I got that car to go that fast around the circuit. I don't know how I shaved off that much time. It was a huge gap of time. But it was not a fast car. Maybe the other one, it was probably the most European drift. It's probably the least European car here, short of the Nissan and the Dodge. Because it wanted to drift everywhere. That's all it wanted to do, is drift. Because the back end had no rear end grip at all. So, I literally, on the last lap, I screwed up the last lap, so I was going slower, so I said, screw it. And I drifted around every single corner with this car. So, yeah, the Jaguar E-Type, as much as I love it, the E-Type was not very fast at all. Now, I am a little disappointed with myself on the Porsche's run. I was a little disappointed with myself. Because I feel like I could have gotten a little bit more speed out of it on its final run. It was our second lap. My second lap was great. My third lap was atrocious. I was very mad at myself for that one. Very disappointed. Yeah, it was not fast, alright? It was not fast. It only did 106 down the straight. It was only 5 miles an hour faster than the Fiat. So, yeah, it was not fast, but it could carry so much corner speed. It was the best handling car I've ever driven in this showdown. Best car on the course, hands down, on this showdown. Best one. I could carry 70 miles an hour around some of these corners. And keep in mind, this is 1956 we're talking about. And we could carry 70 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour around that corner, 70 around this corner. It's crazy good car, crazy good car. It makes up so much time around these corners, it's unbelievable. It loses out on the long straightaway and the start finish line straight away. That's where I lose out. That's the only place. Everywhere else is fantastic through the course. Fantastic. Brakes are great. Turning's amazing. Acceleration's good. Speed is poor. Speed is poor. It just does not have the power. But, good gosh, it's mighty, mighty impressive. Around, yeah, it was just fantastic, the Porsche 550. Yeah. I kind of had an off-track excursion with my Mercedes, because at low speeds, this thing is amazing to the turns, and I turned way too soon, and I drove completely off the track on the inside of the corner. So, yeah, that screwed me up. But I am driving the Mercedes 300 SL, another beautiful car, especially the going doors. I love the going doors on this thing. Because I know they're impractical and everything, but they're going doors. Every car should have those. That makes a car exponentially cooler to make the doors go up. Okay? That just makes it exponentially cooler. And this car, it was not very fast. It's an E-Class car. However, it was pretty darn good. It was not as good as the Porsche. Not as good as the Porsche. No, nothing was as good as that Porsche. But it was still very good to the corners. Very good to the corners. And, yeah, I did really enjoy it around the track. Good accelerating. Great to the corners. Brakes are pretty good. It just... At high speeds, it has understeer somewhat, and it just cannot power. It just does not have enough power. So another beautiful car is let down by the lack of power. So, yeah. It did beat all the other E-Class cars, but it did get absolutely mullered by every other vehicle that was not E-Class. So... yeah, the Mercedes 300 SL did not fare too bad. Now, the Americans came in with their Dodge Charger Daytona. A D-Class car that, on this first lap, I expected it to do very well, considering it did a 157 on its first lap. Very fast car. And then it didn't go faster. I don't know how it's possible, considering I shaved off like 2 seconds on the first run and 2 seconds on the second run, and I still ended up with a I'm gonna say the time's out now. A 154.602. It's disappointing. So mad. Cause I did a 157, then I shaved off like 3 seconds. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get like a 151 now, and then it's like a 154, and I lost all my time apparently. I was so mad. Because I worked really hard. I was pushing this thing. I was rubbing the rims off this car. I was pushing it really hard. I'm amazed I did not wreck it into the wall. I was pushing it so hard. But, yeah. Fastest car on the track, but it just could not carry the corner speed. It was great through the corners. It just could not carry the speed. That was I was really struggling to get that thing to go fast. But on to the times. And then first we have the Lamborghini Miura. Yeah, I kind of figured the Lamborghini Miura would be in first. But very close with a 150.586. Very close behind it is the Ferrari 250 GT Berlin Lucio. 150.893, only 0.3 of a second off. Then we have a big gap with up to our next one, which is a 154.329 set by the Porsche 550 Spider. Very impressive considering it had no straight line speed. Then we have in fourth the Dodge Daytona, beating half of the field with a 154.602. Then we have the Aston Martin DB5 with a 105, with a 156.105. Then we have the Mercedes 300 SL with a 158.646. Then we have the Jaguar E-Type, a 159.324. Then we have the Fiat Dino, which somehow didn't come in last, with a 2 minutes .085. And then in last place we have the Nissan Fairlane Z with a 201.222. Yeah, the Fairlane Z did not fare very well around this track. Now the Dodge here, I decided to use this as my benchmark first. Because, you know, muscle cars are designed to go very fast in a straight line. And this car did a 0 to 100 to 0 in 18.3 seconds. Now, great, we're not expecting these to go supercar speeds like the last one, but, you know, it was pretty good. It was pretty good from the Daytona, and my camera goes crazy now. Now, I was not expecting the Fiat to do very well. Because, and I was right, by the way, I was right. It was abysmal. However, I did not expect it to be this bad. Considering we almost ran out of road at Road America on that long straightaway. We almost ran out of road. It did a 25.91 to get from 0 to 100 to 0. We were doing 90 miles an hour by the time the Daytona stopped. Okay? It was not a fast car. And then we finally got on the brakes very close to the corner. You can see the corner from here. Now my next vehicle to go was the Lamborghini Miura. And I was expecting this to do pretty darn well. Because it was very light compared to all these other vehicles. And it was pretty darn good accelerating. And it was very, very close to Daytona. A 18.46 for this car. Pretty impressive. However, it was much faster accelerating. It just took a little bit longer to stop, I think. The Aston Martin fared pretty well around the circuits. And I was expecting it to do decently well around here. And it did. It did a 20.15 around for the 0 to 100 to 0. Respectable time. A bit off the Miura and the Daytona, but you know, for a DB5, pretty respectable, very respectable actually. So yeah, I was pretty impressed with the little Aston Martin. Now here was the Ferrari 250 GT Berlinetta Lucio that I did. Now this vehicle is very fast. So it was a very fast car. It was lighter than the Dodge. And I was expecting to do pretty good. And it destroyed the Dodge by a full second. And yeah, it was great. It accelerated great, and it braked was pretty darn good. It did a 17.16. Making it the fastest vehicle to go so far. Now the Jag was struggling for straight line speed on the actual racing, so it did not fare, as expected, not fare as well. The brakes were good on it, but the acceleration and the speed is just lacking in this car. As it did a 24.68, so at least it beat the Fiat. But yeah, the acceleration is not very good, but the brakes, they're decent. Now the Porsche is another vehicle struggling for straight line speed. It was another vehicle that really did struggle on this challenge, doing a 26.15. It does get beat by the Fiat. However, it does beat the Fairlane Z. Yeah, it did not have fairly speed, but it was very good to the corners. So that's why I did so well in the lap times. But yeah, it was not very fast. Took a long time to go to 100 miles an hour. Back to 0 was pretty fast, though. Okay, the Mercedes 300 SL, it did not do very good in this challenge. It did a 26.22. Yeah, it was not fast in a straight line. It was actually, however, the brakes were great. The brakes were very good, but it was so slow in a straight line. It went pretty much the whole pit lane before reaching 100 miles an hour. I know the Daytona, the Ferrari, and the Miura all stopped in that pit lane area. That stopped as soon as he left the pit lane, pretty much. So yeah, 26.22 did not do the SL very good. And the winner is the Ferrari 250 GT Berlinetta Lucio with 17 points, coming in second on the lap time and first in the 0 to 60 time. Did a very good job. And second place is the Lamborghini Miura. It's kind of surprisingly. And it had 16 points. Those two cars are very close together. With that coming in first in the lap time, but third in the 0 to 60. That 0 to 60 time did let it down slightly. Another interesting one was the Dodge Daytona. The wild card that I picked came in third with 14 points. coming in 4th around the lap time, and 2nd for the 0 to 100 to 0. Yeah, overall, a very good vehicle, followed by the Aston Martin DB5, with it coming in a fair ways down on the lap times. However, the 0 to 60, it was 4th. It came 4th in the 0 to 60, so that was a very good time for that. Then we have the Porsche 550 Spider, very good to the turns, but no straight line speed, at 10 points. The Jaguar E-Type, decent to the turns, but also no speed, with 8 points. The Mercedes 300 SL just was not that great overall. Good accelerating, but bad accelerating, but good brakes. 6 points. The Fiat Dino, bad overall, but slightly better than the Fairlane Z with 4 points. And then last place that came in last on every single event, the Fairlane Z with a whopping 2 points. Yeah, the Fairlane Z did not do very well. So our victor is the Ferrari 250. A bit of a surprise considering it is not the highest PI car here. That belongs to Mira. But yeah, very good showing from the Ferrari. And anyway, guys, that is it for this episode of Forza Motorsport 6. I'll be back with more